Eric Killmonger's numerous scars weren't just intimidating and cool looking. Like a lot of the design for Black Panther, they had a deeper meaning and could hint at his role in Black Panther 2. Black Panther wasn't just one of the most successful Marvel movies since the MCU began, but it was one of the most carefully designed. With T'Challa not only being the Black Panther but King of Wakanda and its 5 tribes, we can learn a lot of what's in store for the royal superhero in his hotly anticipated second outing. While sometimes we talk about Marvel having a villain problem, that certainly is not true of Marvel's Black Panther. Eric Killmonger is a standout opponent for the Black Panther. Not only is the portrayal by Michael B. Jordan absolutely captivating, but because he was less a villain and more an alternative path for the Kingdom of Wakanda, one that T'Challa eventually accepts, if not the way that Eric had wanted it to. One of the most striking features of Eric Killmonger is the scars on his body that contribute to his nickname, one for each person he killed. There's a deeper tradition involved in Eric's body art. To get at that, we need to review how Eric Killmonger became Black Panther's antagonist. N'Jadaka, the boy who would grow up to be Killmonger, didn't grow up in Wakanda because of the unfortunate decisions of both his father and T'Chaka's. N'Jadaka's father, brother to T'Chaka and T'Challa's uncle, was a war dog, part of Wakanda's secret service that keeps tabs on the outside world. The problem was that out in the world, the war dogs start to experience the effects of colonialism on the African people who aren't Wakandan, and they start to question why Wakanda hasn't done anything. We see that in Nakia, who when we met her is traveling undercover trying to prevent warlords from gathering kidnapped armies. N'Jadaka's father N'Jobu saw that when he was sent to the United States as a spy. When he decided to do something about it, he didn't think that his brother would go along, so he enlisted the help of Ulysses Claw to steal the vibranium he needed to cause an uprising. When T'Chaka finds out, he confronts his brother and it does not go well. To maintain the secret, the king and Zuri leave, leaving young Eric behind to find his father with claw marks on his chest and a desire to carry on his father's work. It's not just his experiences in Oakland that inform his quest, but in his training and his work towards taking the throne of Wakanda. Eric got an advanced education including MIT, but he also got a tactical education as part of the Special Forces and eventually the CIA. His specialty was destabilizing countries. In his time exiled from the homeland of Wakanda, Eric learned a lot about the countries and people that Wakanda could have helped, but didn't. And he took some of them on as a symbol of his quest. One of those was the scars over his body, one for every kill. Just like most of the design in Black Panther, there is a lot of real-world elements to that practice. The Carbrey tribe of Papua New Guinea, for instance, are an oceanic tribe that uses scarification as a rite of passage. As members reach maturity, the scars are added to resemble the crocodiles indigenous to the area. N'Jadaka has in a sense created a 6th tribe of Wakanda, the Forgotten Children, the ones that fell outside of Wakanda's protective veil and suffered from it. When T'Challa returned, having not died from the fall during the challenge, Wakandans were divided on whether to back T'Challa or N'Jadaka. That division might be a key to what happens in the next Black Panther movie. Of course, Killmonger isn't the only one who took influences from surrounding tribes and African cultures. The look and practices of the fictional tribes of Wakanda were built around the different indigenous cultures of Africa as well. The Panther tribe is the ruling tribe of Wakanda, with the initial Black Panther being led to the heart-shaped herb as a way to unify the warring tribes. It worked for the most part. Only the Jabari tribe decided to live separate from the new coalition of tribes in the mountains. Legendary costume designer Ruth E. Carter looked to the Zulu people for a lot of the look of the Panther tribe, particularly in the form of the Queen's headpiece. It was modeled after the headpiece worn by married Zulu women. Black Panther's suit isn't just a collection of angles either. The triangle in particular is an important African symbol that made him both a superhero and an African king. The Panther tribe rules with the cooperation and counsel of the remaining tribes. T'Challa's crush and opinionated war dog Nakia comes from the River tribe, whose task was to bless the waters before the Black Panther ceremony. The River tribe is based on the Suri people of Ethiopia, influencing the look of the tribe with a focus on beads, shells, and leaves. Other Ethiopian tribes lent a look or two to the River tribe, including the lip discs of the River tribe elder who asks Killmonger his name. The Merchant tribe handles centers like the bazaar that T'Challa and Nakia stroll down before T'Challa's crowning. There is one tribe that plays a key role in the Black Panther movie, and that's the Border tribe. They have perhaps the toughest job of all, since they're also the most visible to the rest of the world. Being on that border means two things. They see a lot more of the outside world than the other tribes of Wakanda, and they take it on the chin the hardest when something happens. like when Eric's father let Claw know where the Wakandans stashed some of their vibranium so that he could steal it. This never sat well with Wakabi, representative of the Border Tribe. We find out that he was frustrated by T'Chaka's failure to bring Claw to justice and hoped that T'Challa would be different. He was notably disappointed when T'Challa failed to bring in Claw, and more than happy to bring Killmonger to the council when he delivered Claw's body. It's the border people who side with Killmonger, even though T'Challa turns up alive having not yielded. It's a strong moment that not only sets up a climactic battle but also indicates a divide among the Wakandan people. The Border Tribe, whose Basotho blanket cloaks and shields are inspired by the Sesotho and Lesotho people of Africa, had made a decision in that moment. Where before Killmonger, in accordance with the practices of Wakanda, had become king and earned even the loyalty of Okoye, leader of the Dora Milaje, with T'Challa alive, Wakabi still makes the choice to back Killmonger. Not out of tradition, but because in the end, he agrees with Killmonger. For Wakabi, and what he's seen as the representative of the Border Tribe, Killmonger is right. Wakanda has a responsibility to undo the damage it should have prevented, even if that means becoming an empire itself. That irony is not lost on Killmonger, who suggests that the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire, a reference to the former British Empire which had holdings all over the world. That meant that at any time the sun shined on some part of the British Empire. Both Killmonger and the Border Tribe literally and figuratively wear the scars of interacting with the outside world effectively with their hands tied behind their back, unable to unleash the full power of Wakanda at the behest of the ruling Panther tribe, who has made sure that Wakanda remains a secret. The burden of those scars serves as the conflict for the first Black Panther film, but what does it say about the next Black Panther movie? To figure out the answer to that question, there are two other questions we need to ask. The first one is, was what T'Challa did enough? One of the most powerful elements of Black Panther was that while Eric Killmonger wanted to start a war with everyone, reordering the world so that Wakanda was on top, the reason he thought that should happen was because Wakanda had shirked its responsibility to look after its neighbors. Since Wakanda sat out colonization and world wars, it had contributed to the suffering of those nearest them by their inaction. That inaction and, in fact, their dedication to it also led to them harming their own, killing Njobu and orphaning his son in Oakland. The weight of what his ancestors had done affects T'Challa so deeply he has to reject the elders in the ancestral plane and return to Wakanda. Once back, he has to defeat Killmonger because he doesn't think that conquest is the way to undo the wrongs of his ancestors. But importantly, he does agree with Killmonger and the Border Tribe that Wakanda has a responsibility that it has neglected and must correct. Instead of invading, T'Challa opens Wakanda up to the world. But rather than getting a Starbucks or the Olympics, T'Challa brings the Avengers. Unfortunately for T'Challa and the rest of Wakanda, that great opening happens just before the coming of Thanos. While T'Challa is able to muster the help of the 5 tribes, including the reluctant M'Baku and the Jabari people, to hold off Thanos long enough to separate the Mind Stone from Vision, the Wakandans pay a pretty steep price to defend a world that is only now aware of who they are. While we don't know what happened in Wakanda during the blip, there could have been a great deal of unrest and regret that Wakanda is making the sacrifices for a world that has exploited everyone around them. In essence, N'Jadaka might have started a new 6th tribe of Wakanda, who still believes that Wakanda should be on top. That doesn't tell us how Eric Killmonger could come back, and there is a lot to indicate that he is, both from the cast and from director-writer Ryan Coogler himself. Death, as most comic book fans know, is not permanent in a comic book story, but when the death is particularly meaningful, such as Uncle Ben or Killmonger preferring to be thrown in the sea with his ancestors rather than living in chains, undoing that death undoes all the pathos and meaning behind those deaths. But there is a way for Killmonger to come back without it damaging the weight of the first movie: the ancestral plane. By birthright, Killmonger is a member of the royal family in the Panther tribe, and a former Black Panther no matter how short his reign. His father is in exile, but still, Eric was able to visit him in the ancestral plane as well. With the second Black Panther movie set to be released after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it's possible that Strange and Scarlet Witch's shenanigans with the multiverse can open doors for Killmonger to influence those still sympathetic to his cause in Wakanda. Another possibility lies in that earthquake at the bottom of the Atlantic that Okoye told Natasha not to worry about. What every Marvel fan wanted that earthquake to mean was Atlantis and Marvel's favorite sometimes good guy, sometimes bad guy, Namor. If there was anyone else in the MCU who would get behind a program of taking over out of frustration, it would be Namor. Could a more mellowed out Killmonger become a trusted counsel for T'Challa? Or will Killmonger restart his revolution, this time with the people of the Briny Deep? We'll have to wait to find out, but it's bound to be thrilling. That's how Killmonger's scars hint at a new tribe in Black Panther 2. What do you want to see in the second movie? Would bringing back Killmonger in the regular realm undo the first movie? Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, why not subscribe to CBR and get the latest videos in your inbox? Thanks for watching, and stay safe.